I've never seen Velma, but it looks like it has nice lighting. Oh yeah, that can't be a full video. Okay, well then, no Scooby-Doo for you guys! Hey, wait a second, is today April Fool?
Stop right there.
Wait, what?
I am taking over this operation.
Wait, no. No! No!
We're gonna talk about Scooby-Doo. You have to mean it. So join me, kind audience, as I take you through 3 Scooby-Doo adventures and tell you what to Scooby-Doo and what to Scooby-Don't. Let's start. Lego Scooby-Doo Haunted Hollywood. Our story opens on the cold, dark Brickton Studios. A poor employee is being attacked by a monster. We cut to the Scooby Gang dealing with a monster of their own at a lighthouse. Scooby and Shaggy decide they won't be bribed with Scooby snacks anymore. The gang catch this monster, who's actually a dude, a criminal you might even say, pretending to be a spooky dude for money. Scooby and Shaggy get super hungry, so they eat a bunch of hamburgers, which accidentally leads to them winning an eating contest and a trip to Hollywood. While in Hollywood, our gang travel to Brickton Studios, where we formally meet our first suspect, Junior, played by Scott Menville. Velma, meanwhile, gets to show off just how well she is written in this movie, and a first Scooby-Doo when she shows off an epic burn skill with the quote,
"The only thing to fear at a movie studio are their sequels."
Junior takes the gang on a nice little tour of Brickton, where we meet our next 2 suspects, Chet Brickton, played by James Arnold Taylor, and Atticus Fink, played by J.B. Blanc. We also get a pretty good look at our monster here, the Headless Horseman. We get a pretty fun chase sequence here, where the gang blind the monster, and then they go to Chet's office. Junior reveals that he hates rom-coms, and thus, I hate Junior. Our gang watch an informational film introducing Boris Karnak, who's dead. 2 new suspects enter the scene as Drella Diabolique, played by Cassandra Peterson, explains the supernatural suspect of Boris Karnak's ghost, played by no one, because it's a ghost that doesn't speak. The gang enter the set of the final Brickton Studio film, a rom-com. After a monster ruins the set, Chet makes Fred the director, Velma the camera woman, Shaggy the lead male, Scooby his stunt double, and Drella the lead female, making Daphne very angry. Fred's filming doesn't get very far when a mummy scares them off. However, take note of the fact that the cameras remain standing, unlike the Horseman. After some goofy shenanigans involving costumes and food courts, the gang gets back to making a much more action-packed version of their rom-com. The production is, however, interrupted by 2 monsters, a zombie and the Horseman, and Scooby gets our second Scooby-Don't when he breaks the laws of physics and flies a plane without wings. That's not how planes work. The Horseman just leaves and the zombie gets pretty upset because he breaks the camera. Time for my favorite part. Fred decides to set a trap. In one beautiful sequence, the monsters are trapped, Daphne gets to finish her character arc, and we get to see the second Scooby-Doo with a beautiful soundtrack. Let's play. Who's spooky and evil? Is it A, Chet Brickton, B, Junior, C, Atticus Fink, D, Drella Diabolique, E, Supernatural, or F, a member of the gang? If you guessed B and C, you are correct. Atticus Fink has been talking about in the entire movie about how much he wants to turn the studio into a parking lot, so that one was pretty obvious. But Junior is interesting. He is actually the son of Boris Karnak, and he wants to make more horror movies. Because of this, the gang decides that no crimes apply to him, apparently, and they make a found-footage horror movie. So, cool, I guess. Atticus goes to jail. Scooby and Shaggy eat more Scooby snacks. All in all, this movie has some good versions of the gang, but mediocre villains. I would say 6 out of 10. Next on our list, Scooby-Doo, Legend of the Fantasiaaur. We open with a very fun intro, lots of colors. That's a Scooby-Doo, to Shaggy screaming. The gang explains he's been like this for hours, and a doctor tells him to stop getting in scary and spooky situations. Pay attention to the fact that he mentions that Shaggy cannot get in the mystery machine ever again. The gang go to a coffee shop and we meet Shaky Joe, who in himself is a Scooby-Doo. We learn that Fred is failing his science class, so the gang is still in high school, I guess. That's a Scooby-Don't. But Fred also mentions how much he loves traps. Now, I cannot tell you how much that is a Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scooby accidentally drinks coffee and becomes a sleep paralysis demon. Daphne makes up a branch of the US government, and the gang travels to the least haunted town in America. They travel not via the mystery machine, but via the mustard machine. The GPS system in the mustard machine seemingly is sentient, which makes its relationship with Fred potentially romantic. That's a Scooby-Don't right there. We meet a great character and our first suspect, Mr. Hubley, played by Fred Willard. He also has like a kind of funny running gag where he always forgets the gang's names, and I genuinely laughed at this a few times, so that's a Scooby-Doo right there. I will stop real quick to point out how good this movie looks. Now, animation and style isn't really my expertise, but just so good. It's just eye candy, you know? Beautiful movie. Get a good look at our monster, the Fantasiaaur. Spooky. It's a dinosaur, but it glows occasionally, so yeah. Our next two suspects are Professor Svankmajor, played by Fiona Hughes, and Windsor, played by Matthew Gray Gubler. You know, these are all around pretty good characters, and oh no, Velma likes Windsor. Oh no, that's a Scooby-Don't. I don't like that. Our two suspects' friends love dinosaurs and are thus archaeologists. Pretty sus, seeing as our villain is a spooky ghost dinosaur. The Fantasiaaur reappears for a chase sequence, and we get the best line in any movie ever. A character unironically yells, "Ghost dinosaur!" Just let that thing sink in. Just beautiful perfection. Ghost dinosaur. After the chase ends, we get our supernatural suspect with the origin of the Fantasiaaur. Bunch of natives don't like conquistadors, so they go into a cave and try and summon like a bear or a mountain lion or something. It's not very clear. And they accidentally summon a fire-breathing dinosaur that eats them all. Mr. Hubley shows that he's useful in more than one field by showing that he can hypnotize people, apparently. He uses this on Shaggy to make him brave Shaggy whenever a magic word is said. This plot point here heavily contradicts previous Scooby-Doo lore. In the movie Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy, it is clearly shown that Scooby and Shaggy are immune to hypnotization. However, I will let this slide, as Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy is actual dog dookie. Shaggy goes to a cafe where he is harassed by bikers. Someone says the magic word though, so he goes sicko mode and beats the heck out of them in another beautiful sequence. The leader of this biker gang challenges Shaggy to a bike race, something he does not know how to do. Fred sees a spooky van with the words thaumatrope written on it, and Daphne teaches Shaggy how to ride motorcycles, as she has done that since she was a child, which by the way, is illegal. Shaggy somehow wins the bike race, and I will mention real quick how the biker boss is really fun. Almost all the side characters are in this movie. Before anyone can celebrate, a ghost dinosaur shows up. Fred does his classic thing and makes a trap and catches the villains. Is it A, Hubley, B, archaeologist, C, supernatural, or D, thaumatrope? It is in fact D, thaumatrope. They wanted silver, I guess, but the archaeologists took their mind. So, yeah, that's the end of the movie. But wait, there's more. They go to Hubley, right? And his equipment has been stolen by ghost velociraptors. Oh, and also casually, there's just a giant fire T-Rex burning things. It's just made of fire, you know. We get a beautiful line from one of the bikers as they say,
"If there's one thing I can't stand, it's ghost dinosaurs! Come on!"
The gang ends up fighting off these dinosaurs. The one made of fire just happens to also breathe fire. So, yeah. The gang then decides that they have a hunch, and they're gonna head to the archaeology dig site. The gang use some goofy little marbles to trap the velociraptors and reveal that the villain is A, Hubley, B, archaeologists, or C, supernatural. It's B, obviously. The archaeologists are like the only option. How can Hubley be like 7 dinosaurs? Which also means Windsor's evil, so heck yeah, hated that guy. It's revealed the way they did it is using hypnosis to hypnotize an entire town into thinking they saw a dinosaur, flamethrowers for fire breath, and their motive is to get a dinosaur fully preserved in crystal out of the cave. That's their motive for some reason. Shaggy does some brave stuff without hypnosis. They leave. All in all, this film is 8 out of 10 good. Everything except Windsor. He sucks. Finally, Scooby-Doo Ghastly Goals. It has Danny Trejo, who's a Scooby-Doo. 10 out of 10. So Liam, what do you think?
Please just ask next time. Anyways, if you can excuse me, I have a Ghost and Molly McGee cameo to get to.
Does it have Danny Trejo?
I mean, he was a guest star in season 1.
You know, this is okay, but I wish those ghost hunters were like, instead of a family, like a gang of kids with a goofy little dog.
Yeah, I'm never watching Scooby-Doo again.